Hi everyone, and welcome back to Dynamics 365 Universe, where we break down complex concepts in Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations into simple, understandable lessons. In today's session, we're going to learn how to create a new table in D365 F&O using the Visual Studio Designer. If you're someone who's just getting started with technical development in D365, or even if you've been working with forms and classes but haven't explored table creation deeply, then this video is just right for you. By the end of this walkthrough, you'll understand not just how to create a table, but also why each step matters, what's happening behind the scenes, and how to make your tables functionally sound and scalable. So, let's begin from the very basics. Step 1: Adding a new table to your project. Alright, the first step is very simple. Open your Dynamics 365 project in Visual Studio. Right-click on your project name in the Solution Explorer, then go to Add, and click on New Item. This opens a window where you'll see different types of AOT, Application Object Tree, elements you can create, like classes, forms, enums, and so on. In our case, under the Data Model section, you'll find the option called Table. Select it, and now give your table a meaningful name. We will be using Table 1 for demo purpose. Now a quick tip here: avoid random or vague names. Always follow naming conventions that reflect the business purpose. For example, if you're creating a table to store employee certifications, you could name it Model Employee Certification or something equally descriptive. Once you name the table and click Add, it gets added to your project and opens in the Designer view. Step 2: Understanding the Table Designer view. Now when the table opens, you'll see various nodes on the left like fields, field groups, indexes, relations, methods, and more. Each of these sections plays a specific role in how your table behaves, both from a technical and business point of view. Let's first focus on adding fields, which is the most fundamental part. Step 3: Adding fields to the table. Right-click on the Fields node and choose New, then Data Type. For example, if you want to store a name, choose String. For quantities, you might choose int64 or real. You can also choose enum or extended data types, depending on what your field represents. Once the field is added, give it a proper name. This is the internal technical name used in code, and also assign a label, which is what the users will see in the UI. Repeat the process to add all the fields you need. Keep in mind, you can also drag and drop predefined EDTs or Enums directly from the Application Explorer into your Fields node. That's often faster and ensures you're reusing standardized data types defined across the application. Step 4: Defining indexes and primary keys. After your fields are in place, it's time to define how your records will be uniquely identified. This is done using indexes. In most tables, you'll create a primary index, which is based on one or more fields that uniquely identify each row. Right-click on the Indexes node, choose New Index, and select the fields to include. You can also specify the index as Allow Duplicates equals No, if you want to enforce uniqueness. Indexes are very important for performance, especially when your table is referenced in forms, lookups, or joins. Step 5: Adding relations, optional but important. Now, let's talk about relations. These help define how your table connects to other tables. If your table is referencing another table, like a customer table or a worker table, you can create a relation based on the primary key of that target table. For example, if your table has a worker field, and you want it to point to the HCM worker table, you create a relation to ensure referential integrity and improve lookup performance. Relations also drive automatic lookups and validations in forms, so they're not just for structure, they enhance usability. Step 6: Table methods and business logic, optional for beginners. You'll also notice a methods node on your table. This is where you can write custom logic that runs on events like insert, update, delete, and validation. For beginners, you might not need to write custom methods immediately, but as you build more advanced solutions, you'll find this useful for handling things like defaulting values, conditional validations, and posting logic. Step 7: Syncing with the database. Now, here's a very important point. Creating the table in Visual Studio does not automatically make it visible in the database or table browser. To do that, you need to synchronize your table with the database. One way to do this is by enabling Synchronize Database on Build in your project properties. This ensures that every time you build the project, the table is synced as well. If that option is not turned on, you can also manually right-click the table and choose Synchronize Database. Without this step, your table won't appear in SQL or the D365 environment. Let's build our project. Step 8. Viewing the table in Table Browser. Once synchronization is complete, right-click on the table again and choose Open Table Browser. This will open a browser window inside Visual Studio, showing the structure of your table and any records if data exists. This is helpful for testing, verifying your fields, and checking if your table is behaving as expected. System fields automatically created. Now here's something most beginners don't realize. When you create a table in D365, 4 system fields are automatically added behind the scenes. DataAreaId identifies the company or legal entity. Every record is linked to a company. RecId, a unique identifier for each record. This is the technical ID used across the system. RecVersion, used for concurrency control. It ensures 2 users don't overwrite each other's changes. Partition, supports data isolation in multi-tenant scenarios. Typically only one partition exists per environment. These fields aren't shown in the designer, but they're always part of the table's schema. Note: RecId and RecVersion only get populated when a record is actually saved in the table. Conclusion. And that's it, you've now created your first custom table in Dynamics 365 F&O, added fields, defined indexes and relations, and synced it with the database. This table can now be used in forms, reports, queries, and more, making it a core part of your D365 solution. If you learned something new today, or if this helped clarify your doubts, please consider subscribing to the channel for more tutorials like this. And if you're already subscribed, thank you for being part of the Dynamics 365 Universe community. Until next time, take care and keep building.